One, Drew recorded parts of the visit. It was at the park and posted it on TikTok, which I really don't think he's supposed to do. That's supposed to be an intimate moment. I get it. Maybe you want to record it for your own personal memory. You could show it to Deshawn when he gets older. If you wanted to record it, that should have been saved in your phone, Drew. That shouldn't have been posted to the public.
Apparently, Stephanie made a slick comment towards Desiraye about her only giving Deshawn a $25 gift card. And clearly, she's a little dumb and don't understand why Desiraye did what she did. So I'm going ahead and let you know why she did what she did, Stephanie. Okay, sweetheart, with a gift card, you can use it as proof, as evidence that you've sent something, okay? So there's a tracking number on a gift card, and there's also a receipt that she can keep, you know? So push comes to shove, when she does take King Daddy Drew back to court, guess what? She has proof showing that she has been trying to give Deshawn stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just that he's young, so what do he need with more than $25, especially since she knows that you and Drew are going to spend the majority of that money. If not spend that money, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to take the money and make him split amongst him and his siblings. And that's bullshit, because let me tell you something, Stephanie. Everybody saw how you get what y'all did for Deshawn's birthday parties versus what y'all did for your daughter's birthday party. So everybody know that y'all don't really give a fuck about Deshawn. So let's put that out there. And I'm just telling you why she only gave him $25 instead of giving him, cash. What does he need with cash, Stephanie? Why would she send cash out to you or to King Daddy Drew and when she could just give him a gift card? And like I said, y'all gonna spend that money.
Stephanie Jenkins, also known as Resilient Jenkins on TikTok, is spiraling faster than ever. And this time, it's all fueled by jealousy, insecurity, and a desperate need for control. Her behavior has gone from bad to downright humiliating. She's out here doing the absolute most to tear Desiraye down, spreading false stories, making wild accusations, and desperately trying to convince the internet that Desiraye isn't who she says she is. Sad but it's not working. It's backfiring in the loudest way possible. And honestly, getting embarrassing to even watch at this point. Let's dive into the mess. Stephanie has never been okay with the fact that the public chose to support Desiraye. Let's be real. She's been pressed about this since day one. From the very moment Desiraye launched her GoFundMe to raise money for legal fees to fight for her son Deshawn, it was like a switch flipped in Stephanie's mind. Instead of focusing on her own business, her own kids, or even sorting out the chaos with her own household, she chose drama. Straight up chaos, public embarrassment, spite, and it just gets messier from there. She didn't waste any time either. The moment Desiraye started gaining traction, Stephanie immediately started throwing shade in every direction she could. Whether it was subtle posts, passive-aggressive comments, or full-on rants behind closed doors, her jealousy was loud. But the internet caught on fast. Then boom, a leaked text from Stephanie's personal account hit the internet. The message read, "I was wondering when someone would point out she hasn't used any of that GoFundMe to help Deshawn in any way. She sent him a $25 gift card. That gives me a good laugh. I appreciate it. Be serious." First of all, the GoFundMe was clearly for Desiraye's legal fees. It wasn't some Christmas drive. It wasn't for toys or grocery cards. It was very clearly stated that this money was for one purpose: to hire an attorney who could help her legally fight to get her son back. And here's the thing, Stephanie absolutely knew that. Let's not act brand new. But instead of owning up to the reality, she decided to play dumb and weaponize misinformation to stir up drama.
So apparently Stephanie made a slick comment towards Desiraye about her only giving Deshawn a $25 gift card. And clearly she's a little dumb and don't understand why Desiraye did what she did. So I'm going ahead and let you know why she did what she did, Stephanie. Okay, sweetheart, with a gift card, you can use it as proof, as evidence that you've sent something, okay? So there's a tracking number on a gift card, and there's also a receipt that she can keep, So push comes to shove, when she does take King Daddy Drew back to court, guess what? She has proof showing that she has been trying to give Deshawn stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just that he's young, so what do he need with more than $25, especially since she knows that you and Drew are going to spend the majority of that money. If not spend that money, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to take the money and make him split amongst him and his siblings. And that's bullshit, because let me tell you something, Stephanie. Everybody saw how you get what y'all did for Deshawn's birthday parties versus what y'all did for your daughter's birthday party. So everybody know that y'all don't really give a fuck about Deshawn. So let's put that out there. And I'm just telling you why she only gave him $25 instead of giving him, cash. What does he need with cash, Stephanie? Why would she send cash out to you or to King Daddy Drew and when she could just give him a gift card? And like I said, y'all gonna spend that money. Like, I don't understand your logic, because you're not here. You're not here, sweetie. You're not here. I don't understand why you have so much hate towards this woman. Especially as a mother. You should understand, okay, this is a mother that did she made some terrible mistakes back in her life when she was younger, and now she's trying to right her wrongs, and now she wants to be in her son's life. So fucking what, Stephanie? Nobody want King Daddy Drew with his deadbeat ding-ling-ling-ling. Nobody want that. Nobody want that. So all I'm saying is, as a woman, to another woman, get the fuck over yourself. Again, you're overstepping your boundaries. You are a girlfriend. You're not a stepmother. You're not a wife, okay? So what about that man that you got in prison that be people, and you married him even though you knew that he was a predator? Let's talk about that, since you always want to be down somebody else's throat. Since you always want to be so damn negative all the time. It's annoying at this point.
And what's wild is, this is the same Stephanie who actively blocked Deshawn from any kind of communication with his mom. Let's not forget that. This is the same Stephanie who, alongside Drew, bluntly violated court orders that were put in place to make sure Desiraye could have regular, meaningful communication and visits with her son. They ignored it, flat out. So somebody please explain how exactly Stephanie thinks Desiraye was supposed to help Deshawn with that GoFundMe money when the two of them were literally slamming every door shut in her face. It's giving delusional. It's giving manipulation. It's giving, if I can't control the narrative, I'll just make it ugly as possible. And the saddest part, everyone sees it for exactly what it is. The mask slipped a long time ago, and now the internet is simply watching the fallout in real time. Let's talk about the absolutely outrageous level of entitlement going on here. Stephanie really walked around acting like she was owed part of the GoFundMe money. But seriously, for what? For what exactly? For being the obstacle in the first place? For actively being the reason the GoFundMe even had to exist? Let's be clear. If anyone created the need for the fundraiser, it was Stephanie herself. Her own actions, her own stubbornness, and her own refusal to follow court orders directly pushed Desiraye into a position where legal help was the only option left. And let's really unpack this. If Desiraye had sent more than $25, would it even have made its way to Deshawn? The way Stephanie and Drew operate, it's likely that money would have conveniently disappeared straight into paying off their $20,000 car debt or whatever else they've been dodging responsibility for. Even Desiraye's own advocate confirmed that Desiraye was hesitant to sum more because the trust was completely gone. When someone consistently blocks communication, ignores court orders, and shows nothing but bad faith, why on earth would anyone believe that money intended for a child would actually reach that child? And here's where it gets mind-blowing. Let's not breeze past this part. While Stephanie is out here pointing fingers, running her mouth, and judging Desiraye for sending only $25, let's talk about Drew. How much has Drew sent his own son? How much has he contributed? The answer is a deafening zero. Not a single dollar, not a single toy, not a gift card, not even a packet of chips. Nothing. Not even, I am thinking about you card. Just silence. Straight up crickets.
All and have hatred towards the mother, but all of a sudden you like that black dingling. They don't make any sense, Stephanie. It makes no sense at all. You are putting on this fake ass persona, like I've been saying for the longest, and trying to make people believe that you actually care about that show, but nobody's buying it at all but those fake ass like that Amy girl. And you can say what you want to say about Stephanie, but at least her kids are not in the system. Girl, you better be lucky that I can say what I really want to say, because if anything, that Amy girl reminds me of you, drug addicts. A little loose and who, like, no, your marbles ain't here, because there's no way in hell anybody in their right mind thinks or believe that what you're doing and how you're treating this baby is logical. Deshawn needs his mother. His daddy don't want nothing to do with him, and nobody told you to step up and play a role that you didn't have to play. Okay, as soon as his mother would have entered his life and been like, yo, I want to get back, close with my son. You know what I would have done if I was in your shoes, Stephanie? Okay, let's do it. Let's make this work. That's how co-parenting works. Okay, Drew, like, what we gonna do, baby? Because we're gonna make sure that Deshawn be able to have his real mother there. Like, I've really had it up to here with you now. You need some real ass friends that's gonna tell you about yourself instead of people that keep enabling your narcissistic behaviors. You are a narcissist, and you are full of yourself. You're selfish. You're self-centered, and your ego is way too high to woo, baby. You better be lucky I'm way in Georgia. I'm way in Georgia. That don't make no sense. Bless your heart, Pookie. Bless your heart.
But somehow, someway, Stephanie feels bold enough to jump online and critique Desiraye's parenting efforts over a gift card. It's not just wild. It's not just hypocritical. It's absolute delusional. It's the kind of entitlement that makes you stop and ask, do they actually believe their own nonsense? Or are they just hoping everyone else is as clueless as they pretend to be? Either way, the internet is not buying it. The receipts are too loud. The hypocrisy is too obvious. And the desperation, it's showing badly. Part 3, the manipulation gets even worse. And y'all, if you thought it stopped there, Buckle up, because this part is honestly disgusting. Stephanie pulled one of the dirtiest, most calculated moves yet. During a court-ordered visitation specifically meant for Desiraye and her son Deshawn to spend time together alone, privately, bonding, Stephanie made sure that wasn't going to happen. Nope. She cooked up a plan to sabotage the entire thing. Instead of respecting the court's ruling, she instructed Drew to bring along their daughters, completely knowing it would disrupt the visit. Let's be real here. Drew didn't just show up late by accident. This was all intentional. Showing up late not only cut down Desiraye's precious time with her son, but also allowed them to claim, oh well, time's up. And throwing the kids into the situation wasn't innocent either.
Hey guys, so this is just a follow-up video to the video I posted about Desiraye and Deshawn's first meet. And I just want to make a few things very... Desiraye was not asked if Stephanie's oldest daughters could be there. She was not told they would be there. None of that was talked about before the visit. Honestly, the communication hasn't been great. So again, as I stated in the previous video, this was again more of like a, hey, let's meet in X amount of time. Not much time was given. And so she did rush out there to see her son because it was Sunday and those were the days that were agreed upon. Obviously, we hope for better communication going forward because these need to be planned out a little bit farther in advance and it'll just make things easier for everybody involved. Desiraye is so glad that she was able to see her son. Obviously, she's just hoping for a little bit more time, a little bit more one-on-one time, so that this reunification period can just be easier and go a little bit quicker for them. And there are no stipulations to any of this. Desiraye is not told that Drew has to be there or somebody has to be there with her. These are not supervised visits. There are no stipulations. Technically, if, Deshawn was okay with it, she could pick him up and take him to a movie or take him out to dinner or whatever. Again, there are no rules when it comes to this. The only thing that the judge said was for Stephanie to not post. So technically, Drew can post whatever he wants. But that doesn't mean that it was right. He didn't ask if he could film her. And it's just a thing, like, be courteous. If you want to co-parent and have a good relationship with somebody, like, that's just not what you do.
Stephanie knew exactly what she was doing. Those girls were sent there to act as her eyes and ears, to watch, to listen, to catch anything they could twist or weaponize against Desiraye later. It wasn't about family bonding. It was about control, manipulation, and pettiness. And the worst part, this wasn't just about interrupting the visit. No, Stephanie had a whole PR cover-up ready. Right after the visitation disaster, she jumped online and posted a video of her eldest daughter doing a voiceover, sweetly asking about where to buy realistic dolls. Cute on the surface, right? But everybody saw straight through it. It was nothing but a distraction tactic. A poorly disguised attempt to shift the public's focus onto some doll drama instead of forcing her to answer the real, uncomfortable question. Why in the world were those kids anywhere near a visitation that was clearly court-ordered for Desiraye and Deshawn alone? It's a textbook definition of deflection. Instead of taking accountability for sabotaging a mother's time with her child, Stephanie weaponized her own kids to run interference online and offline. And honestly, it's beyond embarrassing at this point. The internet wasn't fooled for a second. Part 4. The Facebook meltdown. Classic Stephanie. When the internet clocked her behavior, as it always does, Stephanie snapped. And not just a little. She completely lost it online. Instead of reflecting, owning up to her own actions, or even pretending to be a decent human being for a second, she went straight into defense mode. She didn't backtrack. She didn't apologize. Nope. She doubled all way down. She hit the Facebook comments with, "Wow, y'all really can't just tell us where to find a realistic doll. Actually, I'm not the type to beg for anything. Me and you work for everything we get the kids. I don't care if you don't support what we do as work." And honestly, the audacity is crazy. First of all, work where? Doing what exactly? Because if TikTok gossip, drama stirring, and playing victim online is now classified as a full-time job, then maybe she has a point. But let's be real. Stephanie's actual full-time hustle is living on social media, soaking up attention and spinning narratives to benefit herself. And you? DoorDash. And let's be honest, even that is barely consistent. His earnings don't even begin to touch the mountain of bills they have created, let alone the child support Drew still refuses to pay for his own son. And yet, Stephanie is acting like she's grinding 24/7, like she's out here cooking into a 9-to-5 and providing for her family. Sis, be serious. The same woman who made an Amazon wish list and had Strangers buy her kids beds, appliances, toys, and literally household necessities, is now on Facebook talking about, we work for everything we get. The delusion is wild.
Most about this comment is her saying me and Drew work for everything we get the kids. That's great. I'm glad that social media works for you. I'm glad that gig work works for Drew. But the fact of the matter is that you sit here and you say we work for everything that we get the kids. Why don't your kids have a stable home? If you work for everything that your kids get, why don't they have a home? Why don't they have an actual home with actual bedrooms? I've been in your situation. I've lived in a motel with my kids. I did it 5 years ago for 6 months. So I understand. I get it. But you guys are refusing resources. You guys are refusing job offers. I think that's what bothers me the most about this. I don't care about your voiceovers with your kids. I don't care about wanting recommendations on a realistic doll for your daughter. What I care about is the fact that you are sitting here saying me and Drew work for everything we get the kids. It took you a year, supposedly, it took you a year to get a bubble gum or a bubble gun for your kids. Explain that to me, Stephanie. Explain it to me. And before y'all come up here hating on me, there are a lot of creators on this app that get paid to talk about these people. I'm not monetized to talk about them. I get paid from the TikTok shop, but I ain't monetized to talk about this family. I'm not monetized to talk about Stephanie or Drew. I'm simply bringing awareness to it.
Even worse, she's throwing shade at the exact people who chose to support Desiree, people who contributed to something meaningful, something real, something that actually matters, a mother fighting to get her child back. And instead of clapping for that, instead of staying in her lane, Stephanie jumped online, mad, bitter, and loud and wrong as always. The ultimate hypocrisy. Let's not forget. Now let's remind everybody of the cold, hard facts because the audacity here is next level. When Stephanie was living in that cramped, barely functional one-bedroom apartment, she didn't hesitate for 1 second to whip up a massive Amazon wishlist. And let me be clear, this wasn't some small list for few kids, items, or necessities. Nope, this list had it all. Beds, mattresses, kitchen appliances, kids' toys, furniture, cleaning supplies, you name it, it was on there. It was basically an entire house in a card form. And here's the wildest part. People actually showed up for her. Strangers, followers, supporters, people who believed in her sob story at the time. They bought it all. Every single item. They came together and furnished her entire apartment, made sure her kids had beds to sleep on, and stocked her kitchen with appliances she didn't have before. Her entire home was practically built by the generosity of others. But now, fast forward to Desiree trying to raise money for something truly meaningful, something that isn't about beds or blenders, but about her legal right as a mother to fight for her child. Suddenly, Stephanie has a problem. Suddenly, it's a scam. Suddenly, it's shade. The double standards are beyond ridiculous. It's actually laughable how quickly she forgot that she herself was a main character in a wish list pity party not too long ago. And let's absolutely not skip over the cringe-worthy moment where Drew handed their daughter a pair of boots, pretended like he had gone out, spent his hard-earned money, and brought her this thoughtful gift. Girl, please. Those boots were straight off the Amazon wish list, bought by a stranger, paid by someone who probably thought they were helping a struggling family, not contributing to Drew's little performance. And the worst part, they looked their daughter dead in the face and acted like it was daddy's money that made it happen. The level of manipulation isn't just sad, it's disgusting. Part 6. What's really behind the jealousy? At the core of all this, it's not even really about Desiree. This entire meltdown, all the shady posts, the bitter comments, and the non-stop dragging. It's all rooted in Stephanie's deep, overwhelming insecurities, because for once in her life, the public didn't take her side. They saw right through the manipulation, the guilt-tripping, the fake narratives, and instead of falling for it, the internet made a choice. They stood with Desiree. They backed the truth. And right there, that's eating Stephanie alive. She's mad, beyond mad, furious that Desiree has support, that Desiree has an entire community of people rallying behind her, that the GoFundMe was not only successful, but that it shattered its goal in record time. She's enraged that Desiree is getting attention, love, and validation that she, Stephanie, craves so desperately, but isn't getting. And let's even go deeper. This isn't just anger. This is fear. Stephanie is scared, terrified that Desiree might not only win her son back, but might also gain back the control Stephanie has been desperately clinging to. And whether she wants to admit it or not, there is a creeping fear that Desiree getting back on her feet could mean Desiree having more influence, more stability, and maybe even more access to Drew because the tension between them, it's loud and it's very real. Because here's the bottom line. If Stephanie was truly secure in her relationship, in her role as a partner and mother, none of this would bother her. None of it. But it does. It eats at her. Because jealousy isn't something you can hide. It leaks out. It slips through the crack. And in Stephanie's case, it's screaming at this point. Loud, messy, and impossible to ignore. At the end of the day, one thing is crystal clear. Stephanie's messy, desperate, jealous attempts to tear Desiraye down are only exposing her own insecurities, her own failures, her lack of growth, and her absolute refusal to take accountability. Every single move she's making is backfiring loudly. Every shady post, every bitter comment, every sneaky little attempt to spin the narrative is only dragging her deeper into the hole she's digging for herself. The internet isn't stupid. People are watching closely, taking notes, pulling receipts, and connecting dots faster than Stephanie can delete her Facebook comments. This story is far from over, not even close. Because let's be honest, if this is how she's acting now, while things are barely starting to unravel, just imagine what's coming next. Imagine the meltdown, the desperation, the absolute chaos that's going to explode when the consequences finally hit. It's coming. And trust me, it's going to be loud. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. Because baby, this drama isn't just unfinished. It's about to get even messier than any of us expected.